person, people would say I'm a confidant. I am a friend. Um, I love people. I love helping people, serving people. I like to believe I have a compassionate heart, but yet firm in who I am and in trying to help others become as well. So that would be who I am as a person. A lot of people call me their friend. Yeah.
You know what? I have to give apology to you and our audience because I jumped right in there, and guess what, Arnetta? I didn't have us live. So I'll just do a little restart and
Okay.
say, welcome, welcome,
Yes.
welcome. And
Yes.
guess what, folks? Sometimes it doesn't go just right.
That's right.
But thank God we get a chance to do a redo, right?
Hmm.
So I started by shouting out all my EAs out there because
Hmm.
at this particular time, they are really juggling all things related to holiday festivities, year end reports, parties, luncheons, catering, buying gifts, looking for best ideas, no
Hmm.
swag bags, no gift cards. So they really get challenged in this time of the year. So that's how I started by saying, hey, EAs, I feel your pain, been there, did that. And also, thank you all for joining Karen's Carrots tonight. And our wonderful guest, and this awesome guest is here, and I didn't even have her on the air. So can I welcome her again? Welcome to Ms. Arnetta Rogers. She is a awesome person. She'll share that with you, a EA, an empower, and she's going to tell you all about it. And guess what, folks? It wasn't easy. So
Mm-mm.
I'm going to turn it
Not at
back
all.
over to you, my dear, and apologize for us not being live in those few moments.
No, 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 no. Thank you, Karen. Thank you so much for having me. And I am very appreciative that you saw me fit to be on your platform. So thank you so much. And I am Arnetta Rogers. I empower and educate beauty professionals on how to legitimately manage your business, build generational wealth, and live healthy, happy lives. So that's what I do. I'm here for you, not just for beauty professionals, although that is my target, but I am here for you if you have a small business and need some guidance and direction on how to get from where you are now to your desired goal. So that is what I do.
So, on that particular note, Arnetta, talk about that transition. Okay, so in your particular
Mhm.
industry,
Mhm.
it's salon ownership, working in a salon, but it could very well be another industry where one is preparing to transition from that day to day
Mhm.
to ownership. Talk to us about that.
Absolutely. Well, I partnered with a major software company that helps small businesses. And again, the target audience for this software was salons and salon owners, right? Salon owners, if you will. But the system is set up such that any small business that has inventory or where you keep your records and you have a staff, this system can accommodate you. So if you're looking to pivot into another career and you need a bona fide management system that will help you to organize and structure your business in a legitimate manner, Pro Solutions software powered, my BMF solutions powered by Pro Solutions software can help you to do that.
So, in your own journey transitioning, what would you say were some of Your greatest challenges, if you will.
Well, in my transition, uh, it may be a little different for some because after being in the industry for, at that time, it was almost 25 years. And God had been speaking to me for some time about making the transition. And I know He speaks to all of us in our different, His different in own way. Um, some listen, some don't. I was one who listened, but I'm a planner and a preparer, if you will, right? And so I'm not one that just jump out there and say, okay, let me just, do this. I have to learn what it is I'm being told to do. I like to master things in a way so that, I could do it well. And so when I decided to come from behind the chair, it was 2 years before I made that move. I had been hearing it and He had been talking to me, telling me what to do and how to do it so that when I made the move, I was secure in knowing that there was no turning back. So I stepped out on faith. I had a husband who supported me in that process. And I realized I have a lot of things, or had a lot of things going for me at that time that a lot of people didn't have. Now, when I was in it, I didn't believe that. But looking back on it, I understand that I had a leg up, if you will, in, getting to my goal. So, um,
Well, on that same note, I'd like to probe a little further there.
mhm,
Um, you said something key. You had a husband or have a husband
mhm,
who supported you, supports you in that journey.
mhm.
How do
You did.
you approach this same aspect of the people you coach, for instance?
Mhm,
If they have a supportive mate, if they have a mate, if they have a non supportive
right.
mate,
Mhm.
how do you go about helping them through that part of the journey, if you will?
Well, first, I always try to lead by example, and I share some of my own stories when it gets tough for them, because what I do know is that when you decide to do something that is of good to others, you've made the decision to serve. And in our earlier years, it's typically about us. In our 20s, we are all the ish, right? But as we get older and we get a sense of self and what being here is all about, we tend to want to serve. And when we make up our minds to do that, then here comes the devil. Here he comes to test what God has asked you to do. And you have to say, who am I? Am I up for the task? Am I on this journey for money, or am I on this journey for to serve? And let's be honest, we're here for both, right? Right? I'm here for both, right? I don't want to be broke and serving. I want to serve openly, willingly, but yes, I do want to get paid. I will not, tell such a lie, right? However, when my clients speak to me about their hardships in their marriage, I can speak with them openly about that. This is my second marriage. My first marriage was 9 years to my children's father. And my second, we had no children. He had a daughter. And so we had three together, right? Um, but I can share with them the highs and the lows, the valleys, and what it means when you are in this place or in that place. February will mark 20 years that myself and my second husband have been married. And I'm a co author in a best selling book, In Command. And in that book, I talk a little bit about myself and my husband and the fact that we've known each other since we were 5 years old, and life takes its course and brings it back full circle. But when my clients talk to me about some of the things that they feel is like a setback, right? And, I just keep it real with them. And I listen first, of course. And then I share some examples of how they can get through because we can't stop, right? We have to do self-care. We have to handle our business. I always share with my clients, even and this was just today. I shared this with one of my clients because she called me and she had a setback. She was really beating herself up and she just didn't want to do anything. And I told her, listen, you can feel that way. But what I want you to do is every day do 1 to 3 things. This is when you're in a slump because we do many things when we are not. But when you are in that slump, you have to keep moving. You have to keep pushing. Do 1 to 3 things that is going to get you one step closer to your goal. Because you might have to change the plan, but you never, ever change your goal.
That
So,
is so important. That is
mhm,
so important because one of the things I had to embrace was celebrating the small wins. And
mhm,
essentially, that's what you're saying.
yes,
You got to celebrate. I was accustomed to, it had to be major.
yes,
Those battles leading up to that major event more or less didn't count.
right.
But I learned if
They
you
do.
don't celebrate those small wins, getting to that big win seems never.
Yes, it's so true. I had a problem. That was one of my issues as well. We all have them, right? I would just go, 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 and didn't realize how much I've done, right? And then when I look back and I have to think about it, maybe I am having an interview or maybe I have a resume that I need to write. And then I look back and I go, oh my goodness, oh, I forgot about that. I did that. Oh my goodness. And then I have to stop and I have to smell the roses. I have now, today, I celebrate the small wins because when you get in a slump, it helps you to remember who you are. It helps you to remember I have to keep going because I have a goal to meet and I have things to do. We all have a purpose. Not everyone knows their purpose. But I tell you, if you desire to know your purpose, ask God and then wait. Listen, and He'll tell you. It doesn't mean that He's going to give it to you all at once, He's going to give it to the capacity that you can handle it. And then He wants to trust you to step out on faith and do what He asks you to do. How do I know? Because I've done it. And He's shown me the results from me being obedient. So I share those kinds of things with my clients. I listen again to them. I have my BMF Solutions Academy, um, which is it's a book, and I should have it before me. It's a little pamphlet, but it's 4 phases in there that help them find their blueprints and really uh, get to know who they are. It's critical thinking questions in there that help them to understand what their purpose is.
Listening to you, and I'm sure a lot of people realize how important it is to have people of substance,
Mhm.
supportive, on the same page. And when you enter these endeavors, that may not be the case.
Right.
And you may have to, I like to use this expression, grow away
Mhm.
from those naysayers or simply people that does not support and or propel your vision. Let me just stop here and say hello to some friends we have.
Yes.
Hi, Levon, Tammy, Judith. I'm so glad you joined us this evening. We're talking to Ms. Arnetta Rogers, and while her industry is the beauty industry, I like what you are doing in this particular industry because, and you correct me if I'm wrong,
Mhm.
a lot of times they don't have those three things that you bring to the table together: the the health,
Uh-huh.
the investment,
Mhm.
and really the business sense.
Yes.
They have a skill, they're gifted, they
Yes.
can turn out some styles,
Mhm.
but how organized are they? How business savvy are they? Are they thinking of retirement or entering another phase, teaching what they know?
Right.
So I really admire what you're doing, and I really like what you're doing because I think that's an industry that needs it while other industries can benefit as well.
Yes. Absolutely. I again, when I was given this task, it was a clean slate. I had, as a business owner, stylists who did not know how to manage their business or their money. And when I tell you we were making thousands, right? 3,000 a week. That's even today. That's really good money. But they didn't know what to do with that money. And even back then, people were coming into the salon with things for you to purchase before you can even document what you made. So at the end of the week, when you would look up and say, wait a minute, where did my money go? Where did it go? And it was someone in the salon might say, you bought those shoes or you bought that coat, but you didn't document it. It's one thing if you bought those things and you needed it, right? But sometimes we buy things just because it's there or it has been presented to us. And that's why I thought it was important because I saw it firsthand. And I've even participated in it myself. I bought my first. It was a mink dealer. This wasn't, no one stealing and all of that. They knew where the money was. And so they would come to the salons and sell to us anything from food to clothing. I bought my first long length and Klein mink, $2,500 from the salon, right? And still have it to this day. Get complimented on every time I wear it. But again, I, came up with this system with the help of God, of course, because I did not trust me. It wasn't me. I was being driven in a way with that I had not before, because again, I had nothing on the slate, and He gave me direction, and for every step I took, He moved me closer in to what He wanted me to do, and that is even when He would bring people in my space that will connect me to the next thing, and I'd be like, oh, this is what He want me to do, and He would be like, not quite, but it's part of it. Keep going. And so, that's what I did. But ultimately, I knew that we needed it. We didn't have health care. We did not have a retirement plan. And most of us, did not have a management system. Of course, some of the businesses that we work for, the hair cutteries and the great clips and the franchises and the chains had it, but they weren't teaching us. They weren't teaching us. And so when we began to uh, step outside and get our own business in salon suites, we weren't prepared. We weren't even filing our taxes, Karen. So,
Mm,
how are we to be taken seriously as being a legitimate business owner, running our
mm.
business in the proper way, if we can't pay Uncle Sam? Because he gonna get you one way or the other.
Sooner or later.
He gonna come and he's going to get you. You're gonna pay the piper, or you're gonna stay underground and you're not gonna be able to own anything. Because in order to own a home, in order to purchase a car in a legitimate manner, you must file your taxes.
Mhm.
And this system that was created, it helps the professional uh, organize and be the boss that they was intended to be in the right way, having your proper insurances, having it reported and all of your analytics, right? And having health care that you can afford, and having an affordable software system that not only manages everything, keeps your inventory and all of that in one place. And so I knew that this was something that I had to fight for, because when I did my research, it was nothing there and they weren't interested. But they are now.
I think this is a good point to segue into paying some bills, Miss Arnetta. We'll take a commercial break here.
Yes, ma'am.
Get your guide to boost your emotional intelligence today. And that's just to let folks know my 30-day self awareness journal is available for gift giving in this gift giving season, and for each one of us to delve more into self awareness by
Mhm.
writing letters,
Mhm.
notes, and simply our thoughts to get ourselves together.
That's right.
So, yes, go on. I just thought that was a good point. And the thing about it is, I can think back. Of course, I don't go to the hairdresser as such. I do go to a barber, but
Mhm.
the same thing still exists. Although I see the management system there for booking appointments and such, I
Mhm.
don't know how much it has changed where the lack of documentation
Mhm.
is going on. You know what I mean? And that is so important when they
It
sit
is.
and think. If they were to add it up
Mm.
one day, add up one month, how much money has gone through their hands?
Yes. Yes, yes. And see, nowadays it's simpler because you have the apps, like our software, like some others have the app, and it's at your fingertips. You can just keep a track of everything that you're doing, from communicating with your clients and reminding them of their appointments, scheduling, ahead of time with things, keeping notes on that client, even making projections for your retail and selling your product is another stream of income within your business that a lot of stylists don't understand. And I want to go back just 1 second, if I can. I want to go back to when we talked about the coaching and how important it is for us to be in a place of health, right? While mental health and physical health, while we are on the journey to wealth. and we want the whole package. Yes, we do. And I say that because I wanted to share that I'm also a certified mental health counselor and a life skills coach. And I don't publicize that enough, but it helps me in my coaching with my clients tremendously because it just, I'm educated in areas of care. And I help them to understand we are all human. We all bleed. I don't care how cute you see somebody. And my mama gave me this. I don't care how cute they are, how much money they have. They bleed and they go to the restroom just as you do. And so, if you feel that rise up in you where you may feel a little envy or a little jealousy or feel like you can't attain something that someone else had, I don't care what it is. Number one, you remember that's not your journey, that's theirs. And you go within and you start to contemplate on what is my journey? What is it that I am supposed to do for not only myself but for the world? Oh, I think Karen's has popped out her connection. We lost her connection, but I'm sure she'll be back on. And I just want to thank her so much for this opportunity because she is also a wonderful pioneer who helps others to grow and becoming better. She showed you her journal when we went to commercial, which is
Thank
totally
you.
awesome, right? So make sure you guys get a copy of her journal and,
Oh, yeah.
work on becoming a better person.
I am.
Oh, we lost her again. She'll be right back, guys. Okay. But I just wanted to share with you guys that I'm here for you, beauty professionals and small business owners. I have a staff of agents as well as accountability coaches for my coaching program. And again, whatever your needs are, you can go to www.mybmfsolutions.com and uh, take a look around, pull back the curtain and take a look around and send me a message, let me know what your needs are, and if I could help or service you in any kind of way, I will. If I cannot, I have resources, baby. I got resources for y'all. I know so many people that could help you, I'm sure. So
Can
yeah,
you hear
don't.
me?
Yes ma'am, I can hear
Okay,
you.
thank you so much for carrying on. You
Yeah.
mentioned it a while ago. When you're on this journey and you're going and it's just good stuff oozing out, here comes the devil. But nonetheless, I thank you for just
Right back to
carrying
share.
on. And look, we have a question here. It's
Okay.
what is the best software that you find effective for your industry?
Pro Solutions software.
Which is
Pro
what you
Solutions
use.
software. And I would say it depends on the business that you have as well. What are you trying to accomplish? Is it a salon? Are you a boutique within a salon? Are you doing classes? Are you coaching? Uh, all of those things that I mentioned, Pro Solution software can accommodate you with that. Uh, but again, it may take some coaching or one on one so that we can understand what your goals are.
And even the spa industry, correct?
Yes, absolutely. even especially really the spa industry. We have a partnership with the spa industry that is actually downloaded into the software. And what I love about the software is that it's unlimited. It's unlimited in staff, but it's tiers to that, and that's where the price point comes in at with the number of staff that you have. But in terms of clients and information that you input into the system, it's totally unlimited. So, yes.
Before I got knocked off the air, you were talking about mental health, and I just wanted to say something about mental health,
Hmm.
emotional upheaval, emotional unbalance, imbalance, whatever the correct
Hmm.
terminology is there. On the one hand, we think that more attention is being paid to it, but on the other hand, I sometimes feel it's it's so
Hmm.
minimized as to be ignored. And
Hmm.
sometimes dealing with it, recognizing it, dealing with it can bring about results that 6 months ago perhaps the person didn't believe were possible.
Absolutely. One of the things, Karen, in our community and others as well, it may be related to the time versus the culture, but we know our own culture, so we can relate. And that is, we were taught to sweep it under the rug. And so a lot of people grow up seeing that and then repeating the pattern when on the inside they're
Yes.
screaming to be seen and
Yes.
heard. A lot of times all they need is someone to just listen. And again, that's what I'm here for. My business is the total package in helping the beauty professional get from a place of mental distress to a place of mental intelligence where we allow our minds to grow past what we are in and shift, have a mindset shift, if you will, because it's a task. But a lot of people simply don't know how to do that because they're doing what they were not taught to do, but shown to do. They are copying what they saw. And so I just like to, share with them that there is a different way. I don't like to say a better way because who am I to say what is better and what is not? But let's try something different and see if it can yield us the results that we desire. Is it going to be hard? Heck yeah. I don't pull no punches. It's going to be hard, but it's the way that you apply yourself that can make it easy. It's the way that you react to things, right? Because for every action, there's an equal to opposite reaction. But how will you react to that person that's going to knock you off track or know what your triggers are? How will you handle them the next time?
Let me ask you a question, and we're going to wrap this up. But so interesting. Another question came to mind, and
Hmm.
that is the question of scaling.
Hmm.
Okay. So we talked about the money. Everyone wants to make more money.
Hmm.
So scaling, you have to be smart because it's
Hmm.
not about one, you doing everything. Two,
Right.
it's not about working
Hmm.
harder. So what is it in scaling that you are able to convey to your clients the hard work
Hmm.
to grow bigger is
Hmm.
worth it?
One of the things that I like to share with my clients about scaling is number one, are you prepared to scale? Because you have to have your foundation in its proper place before you can, get ready to have others become a part of your business. If you don't have your systems and processes in order, your standard operating procedures, all of these things that lay the foundation for how you run your business. And you might say, I have that. Is it documented? Is it in writing? Because you can't remember all of those things. Now, when you talk about scaling, you have to duplicate. You have to duplicate you. You have to train in the proper way, because if you don't, you're going to have a group of people that has joined your business. You ever walk in a business and the customer service just sucks? They weren't properly trained. So I would say make sure you have your system and processes in place, have a good foundation for how you want to duplicate yourself. And yeah, and then scale. But start with order.
Well, I think that's excellent, excellent note to end on. I want to
Mhm.
thank everyone for joining us this evening. Hi, Sheila. I don't think I said hello to you earlier, Lavon, Judith, but I really do appreciate you coming on here tonight. As I said, or we talked about in the beginning, hi,
Mhm.
Tammy. Let's hold on. She has a question before I go further. When you
Sure.
talk about insurance for stylists, what's the best type of life, business type insurance? Should it be whole life or term?
Well, I get this question a lot, and honestly, it depends on your situation. And when you come to my BMF Solutions Academy to answer those questions that's in that pamphlet, it will help you to understand your needs. And within that pamphlet, I have what you call the dined method. And it's a method that shows me, the agent, what your needs are by answering those five little questions. I know how much your death benefit should be, how much income you make, how much. This is the tip of the day that I'm going to leave your audience with. Is that okay?
Absolutely.
Okay, so the dimed method, I want you all to use this, and this will give you an idea of how much insurance you need, life insurance, whether it be term, whole, indexed, annuity, right? And if you want to know more about what those types of policies are, go to my website at www.mybmfsolutions.com and take a look around. You can find out, it's an informational site that will give you insight to some of the questions that you may have. But the dimed method is, you spell out dime, DIMED, and I like to start with a $100,000, because as a beauty professional, you need to start with at least that, right? And then your annual income. If you don't know what your annual income is, estimate or guesstimate. But that's an idea. That gives you an idea that you need to start getting stuff in order. If you do not know on record how much money you make, that is an inkling that you need to start getting your stuff in order. So estimate your income. If you have a mortgage, put your mortgage pay off, not what you pay monthly, but your payoff. If you do not have a mortgage and you rent, don't put in anything, put zero. And education, right? Because we're spelling out dime, DIMED. So now we're on E, education. This is not your education, it's your children's education. So for every child, you put $50,000 for their education. And then the last D, all of your debts, all of your credit cards, your car, everything that you need to pay off that would allow you to be become debt free. Put that number there. Now, add it all up.
Hmm.
When you add that up, that's how much you should be covered with. Because if you were to pass from an untimely death, what burden? Who's going to take care of that burden? Who is that going to fall on? Is it going to fall on your husband? Is it going to fall on your children? And you don't have to have that happen. We don't understand the power of how these insurance policies can help us, especially when we start young. But at least start now. And if you want a one on one, you can get a free consultation. Just go to my website, schedule an appointment, and I'll be happy to answer whatever questions you may have. So, thank you.
I once again thank you, thank you, thank you. This
Thank
was
you.
truly awesome.
Thank you.
I so appreciate you, and you left us with information. Anyone interested can follow up. You know someone who can benefit from the information. You
Mhm.
certainly can pass it on. And while I blacked out tonight, you saw my sister just continue on. And I think I had no fear she wouldn't be here when I returned. And it was all good. I thank you so much. And I also thank you all for joining Karen's Carrots tonight. As we are here on Thursdays at 7, and we've had all kinds of things happen too, Arnetta. We've had thunderstorms,
Oh,
we've
wow.
had electrical blackouts, and sometimes I used to think they only happen on Thursdays at 7, but nonetheless we survive, and we
Yes.
we are here once
Yes, we
again. I want to say hey to my EAs in the C suite. It'll be over soon, just a few more days and the holiday will be behind
do.
us.
Mhm.
For those of you who have not gotten your journal, please pick it up. And by the way, I am also looking for sponsors. We are purchasing journals for children and young adults in
Mhm.
foster care. As you know, when they turn 18, they age out of foster care. And a
Mhm.
lot of times, children, teenagers, they don't feel heard.
Right.
And our way of helping them is to provide them with a journal and share with
Mm.
them tips on journaling and
Beautiful.
show them how important it is to their own self worth and
Mhm.
growth to journal.
Mhm.
So, anyone want to participate and be a sponsor? We're simply asking for a $250 contribution to
Mhm.
provide these institutions with 30 to 40 journals so
Mhm.
that these children can have something that belongs to them,
Beautiful.
and
Mhm.
that they have no fear or intimidation of sharing inner thoughts and the like. So once again, I thank you, Miss Arnetta, for being here. Thank you for sharing with my audience. And so long, all until
Yeah.
next week at 7 with Karen's Carrots.
And thank you.
You're quite welcome. My pleasure.
Thank you all.